is a major stumbling block in relations between Moscow and Washington.
The issue that stands in the way is Ukraine. We can have differences in other arenas, in Syria. We can have differences in other areas, but when one country invades another, that is a difference that is hard to look past or to reconcile. And we've made this clear to Russia from the very beginning that we must address Ukraine. It stands as the single most difficult obstacle to us renormalizing a relationship with Russia, which we badly would like to do.
He blamed Russia for continuing violence in the Donetsk region, the Trump administration decision marking a reversal from Barack Obama's resistance to supplying lethal equipment to Ukraine.
I think it's a logical and very precise step of Mr. Trump, because he experiences strong pressure from establishment of his rival Democratic Party and from hawkish segment of his own Republican Party. He has to show that he is also tough with anybody.
Russia's response, a warning that the U.S. decision will embolden Kiev in the conflict and only increase the use of force. Tom Ackerman, Aljazeera, Washington.
Meanwhile, the Russian president says Moscow is not seeking conflict with anyone, but will stand up for its interests. Vladimir Putin spoke at a conference of the ruling United Russia Party, which has pledged its support in next year's presidential election. Putin, who's registered as an independent, is expected to win. It would be his fourth term as president. Palestinian protesters have fought with Israeli forces in the town of Bethlehem just 2 days before Christmas. They're angry at US President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Israeli forces fired tear gas to try and disperse the crowd. Human rights groups are calling on Israeli authorities to stop using excessive force. And 3 Palestinians have now died in the past 2 days after being shot by Israeli forces. 14 have been killed since protests began over the US decision. It's the 3rd weekend of demonstrations in the occupied Palestinian territories against the move. Malcolm Webb has more now from Gaza.
This is the funeral of Mohammed Mehesin, 24 years old, one of the latest people to die in the unrest following Trump's declaration on the 6th of December that Jerusalem is recognized by the US as the capital of Israel. He was among the protesters who for 3 Fridays in a row have gone towards the border with Israel, the fence and the wall that surrounds Gaza, to demonstrate there, trying to plant Palestinian flags, throw stones, and the protesters each Friday have been met with some gunfire and a lot of tear gas fired back by the Israelis.
Jerusalem deserves sacrifice from our people, and we confirm that it's our eternal capital and that neither Trump nor anyone else can change that. Our people will continue fighting for our rights until we establish our independent state of Palestine with Jerusalem as the capital.
It's normal for the political factions and armed wings to sponsor the funerals of the people that have been killed in the protests. This one's sponsored by the armed wing of Fatah. But no opportunities are lost to make a political statement and a show of strength. The Ministry of Health says more than 10 people have been killed since the unrest began, and leaders of all Palestinian factions have called the protests to continue. Speaking just a short while ago here in Gaza, the leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, called for the arms of the Palestinian resistance in the West Bank to be untied. So there's no sign of any of the political factions giving up anytime soon.
Liberians will go to the polls on Tuesday in a runoff to choose the next president. It follows weeks of uncertainty about whether the vote would actually happen until it was reaffirmed by a Supreme Court hearing. The ex-international footballer George Weah is taking on the country's Vice President Joseph Boakai. Mohammed Ado reports down from the capital, Monrovia.
Street parades and colorful campaign rallies in the Liberian capital, Monrovia. As the campaign season draws to a close, candidates in Liberia's runoff presidential election are in a last-minute hunt for votes. Former international footballer George Weah, who garnered most votes in the first round held in October, gathered his supporters at Monrovia's Samuel Doe Stadium.
I'm supporting Joya because we need change. We have suffered for almost 12 years. No job, no good road, no electricity. So the people need change.
His opponent is Joseph Boakai, Liberia's vice president for the past 12 years. He's campaigning in rural Liberia. 72-year-old Boakai is campaigning on a platform of continuity, taking credit for the achievements of the government of the first elected female president in Africa, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who he served under for 2 terms. The outgoing president has, however, chosen not to endorse her deputy and candidate of her ruling Unity Party, and instead chosen to back George Weah. Most Liberians hope that the vote on Tuesday will reaffirm peace and democracy in their country. If the results hold, it will be the first time since 1944 that there will be a peaceful handover of power in Liberia. The elections are also the first vote organized without the help of the United Nations since the Civil War ended in 2003. But they are not just that. They are also about the numerous need of Liberia's 4.5 million people, from fixing roads and building new ones to improving the quality of education and healthcare. Liberia is still recovering from a devastating civil war that raged between 1989 and 2003. More than 50% of its population also live in abject poverty. It's no surprise, therefore, that Liberians' expectations from their next president are high.
I graduated in 1993 from the technical school. I'm a professional carpenter. For the last 12 years that this government was in power, I couldn't get a job. Cassava is all I have to eat every day. I'm tired of eating cassava.
For now, Liberians dance towards election day, and hopefully they say to good times in the years to come. Mohamed Ado, Aljazeera, Monrovia.
Lots more still to come here in Aljazeera, including China's changing faces, while more people are going under the knife in the quest for the body beautiful. Plus, merging Spanish and Caribbean influences. The Cuban dance company that's taking the cancellation of its US tour, it's tried. More on that, stay with us.